Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Mercedes-Benz CLA 45 AMG. Before we get into this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Mercedes-Benz of Farmington for giving me some time with this CLA. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for John. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money, the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood of the CLA 45, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now with this 45 package, you get 382 horsepower and then 354 pound-feet of torque. Now before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see distinctive lines there on either side with the Mercedes logo there on the front. And then I think the daytime running lights here look really cool, and then really sharp look with the headlights as well. And then you guys can see the little AMG badge there with the Mercedes logo front and center, and overall pretty cool grille design. And putting it all together, I do think that the CLA 45 means business. I mean, look at that. Coming around the side here, tire wheel setup is 255, 35, and 19 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see with the wheel design, you've got the metallic gray with that silver coloration, and notice we got AMG there on the brake caliper as well. We've got a Turbo 4MATIC badge here, and then look at the silver trim around the windows and then also on the door handles as well. And then taking a look at the full side view here, you guys can see the wheels and then the trim around the windows really pops out. Now here's our key fob. We have our unlock function, our lock function, the opening for the trunk, and then our AMG logo there at the bottom. Now popping into the trunk area, the CLA actually has quite a bit of storage space, and we have these little latches here that you can pull to throw the seats down. And then getting the trunk down is pretty simple, just plop. Really cool looking taillights here with the CLA, and then you guys can see the low profile spoiler, and then look at all the badges here on the back end. And then we've got these really aggressive exhaust tips and then cool diffuser as well. And putting it all together, I'm actually a pretty big fan of the CLA styling. I think Mercedes did a good job. Now taking a look at the door panel here, you guys can see the red stitching, and then look at like the Alcantara inserts here and then more of the red stitching. I think that looks pretty neat. And then the seats kind of continue that theme. Look at the pattern there in the center portion. Legroom here in the back is really solid. We got a storage pocket. We've got some vent action, and then you guys can see USBs as well. And then headroom back here is also really good. And we have a cup holder armrest, little pop-out cup holders. Now taking a look at the front door panel here, you guys can see again with the stitching, and then look at like the Alcantara down below with more stitching. All of our window controls, the mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in, and then we've got our memory seat function here. Notice we've got heated seats for the front, and then our seat adjustments. And then the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's the front seat. You guys can see again with the stitching that goes down the center portion. And then we do have some lumbar support. And then we've got pretty cool looking pedals here at the bottom, and then all of our light controls are just in that area. So here's a look at the steering wheel with the CLA. Really nice trim all around. You got like a golf ball texture here on the sides, so you get a little bit of a better grip. Red stitching in the center. Really cool paddle shifters there on the back for that 8-speed automatic. Controls here for the infotainment system, volume controls, and then this is for the center screen right there with our cruise control built in. Turn signal stock, and then we have our column shifter here. Now I have this full digital gauge cluster with the CLA, and just like other Mercedes-Benz models, you can basically scroll into each individual like gauge, if that makes sense, and you can change what everything shows. But my favorite part with this whole setup is this little screen right here that's kind of like a secondary infotainment system. I mean, look at all the menus you can scroll into, and then we can also change the gauge design. I think Super Sport is probably pretty fitting here for the CLA. Now in reverse, we do have a regular backup camera here with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and resolution's pretty solid. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, this is just Mercedes modern unit. Response time on it is really solid. Again, you can control it via the touchscreen function. There's a little keypad down below. You can also use the control on the steering wheel. And we get a bunch of different drive modes here with the CLA. My favorite's obviously Sport Plus because that's when things get real aggressive. There's actually really nice trim here on the dash. You can see the red stitching. And then I do like this little thing right here. It says AMG, kind of goes across. I think that looks pretty cool. And then look at all the vents here. Dual zone climate controls. And then we got the storage space here with the USB action, and then we've got our cup holders. And then here in the center, we've got a little keypad to control the infotainment system, and then we've got our little volume control right here with all of our shortcut buttons, drive mode select in that area as well. And then this is our wrist rest here for that little keypad, and then your manual shift function, or to pop into manual mode, stability control there as well. And then here's the center console with the nice stitching and everything on it, and then pretty normal glove box. And then up top we get our control here for the sunroof. It's not quite a panoramic, but it's bigger than a regular sunroof. Now when it comes to pricing, the CLA 45 AMG, depending on how many options you add to it, is going to be like a high 50s, low 60s in terms of the MSRP. But let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility here in the CLA. Here's your visibility of the hood, both the mirrors, just do blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And I do want to mention, I'm using this driving video for my CLA review, and then also for my CLA versus RS3 review. And so, yeah, just to understand that. So there might be some comments about the RS3 in this particular video. But setting off in the CLA, this is actually a really cool car. I feel like it's a pretty underrated car. A lot of people see 4-cylinder and they go, don't really care. And it's like, wait a second. This thing has almost 400 horsepower out of a little 2-liter 4-cylinder. That's pretty crazy. It's loud too, actually. Just like getting up a little bit, it's pretty obnoxious right off the bat. I will say the suspension's definitely on the firmer side. Let's see what drive mode I'm in. So I'm in comfort right now. Oh, this thing's so responsive. It's pretty exciting. So we're getting up and moving again. Look how responsive the transmission is. And this is, again, in comfort mode. I'm interested to see in the manual mode. Wow. Pretty dang responsive with those downshifts. That is for sure. I like the handling feel of this too. Let's pop it over into Sport Plus. So everything's gonna get a little bit more aggressive in the Sport Plus. It's pretty dang comfortable, actually. Ooh, it makes pops out of the exhaust. I just got in it like a little bit, not really an acceleration, but just kind of got it to rev up a little bit, and it sounds pretty sweet. Thing's most impressive to me so far is the transmission. I think that's pretty dang solid. See how the damping is over this little grate. Yeah, suspension's definitely firmer. That's for sure. So we are going to Did you hear that out of the back end? It's like crazy aggressive pops. That is insane. Let me get to do that again. Listen to that. Oh my goodness, that is so thrilling. Man, for a 4-cylinder, this thing is pretty dang fun. It's quick too. Wow. I didn't think I was gonna have this much fun with this car, but man, oh man. Oh, that's so cool. I don't care if it's piped in or not. It sounds so sweet. Okay, so I guess we have to sum things up for the CLA. Oh, this car is such a blast to drive. My goodness. Handling's good on it too. This thing's so fun. It sounds amazing. Super underrated car, in my opinion. Super underrated. Let me know what you guys think about the CLA 45, but like, it's just like, it's fast, it's fun, it sounds good, it checks all the boxes pretty much.